Okay, let's go ahead and jump on in. I'll do a little bit of an introduction as we're funneling people into the call tonight. I just want to say thank y'all so much for being here and taking a little bit of time to hang out with us and learn more about Q Sciences and what all is going on and why everybody's so excited about it. And my name is Katie Trent. I am a Platinum Ambassador here at Q Sciences, and we actually live. Sorry, y'all, we have more people popping in here. We live right outside of Austin, Texas, in a little town called Dripping Springs, if you've ever been out here. It's beautiful. There's amazing wineries and breweries and distilleries and like all the things. It's a lot of fun to go out just outdoors and hiking and all the things. There is my sweet family on the screen for you there. My husband, Jordan. Rex is 14, Hallie's almost 12, Izzy is 2.5, and then Jovi is about 7 months old. And it was about 15 months ago when I had a friend similarly come to me and say, hey, I think you need to come take a look at Q Sciences. And kind of same story for you tonight. They said, why don't you come and listen at what they've got going on? I think you're going to be really surprised at what this company is doing. And my friend came to me because she knew that I really loved this industry, that I had had experience in the industry before. I had actually been in a previous project where I had built a multi six-figure earnings over there. And so she knew that I kind of knew what to look for when it came to these companies. And so I sat on a call just like this and literally got off and was just mind blown. I had never seen something quite like Q Sciences before. And I could not wait to be a part of it. So don't be surprised if you feel similarly. It's really amazing what they're doing and what is coming in the next 12 months to a year to 2 years to 3 years. Things are getting crazy over here. So let's kind of dig into who Q Sciences is and where they came from and where we are going. And so I'm going to give you that background of where we got started from. So we actually were founded back in 2012, and we are founded with the concept of wanting to be at the forefront of science and technology and how those two things impact each other when it comes to creating products to impact people's health. And so we wanted to make sure that we were staying up to date with all of the new things coming out, and because science is always moving forward, technology is always changing, and if you're kind of behind in those areas, you're not able to keep up with the best products to help people in the best way possible. And so that has always been our mission. And it's something that we stick to very closely when it comes to formulating our products and putting out new ones, as we're going to be having here in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be releasing 21 new products. So I'll talk about that here in just a second. We were founded by a man named Mr. Mark Wilson. He actually used to be in the NFL as a quarterback. He won a couple Super Bowls and then ended up retiring, went into real estate. It did super well there. And in fact, did so well that he retired and was kind of set for life. He didn't need to work anymore, but through his real estate experience, he figured out that he really enjoyed, business. He was an entrepreneur, and so he had this kind of itch to start his own business, and he wanted that business to focus on impacting people, not just right now, but for generations to come when it comes down to their health and their finances. And so he was talking to a friend who connected him then to a man named Dr. Stephen Kimberly. And Dr. Stephen Kimberly has an amazing background. He's been a board certified internal medicine doctor for over 40 years. He also has a degree in naturopathic medicine, as well as has been the chief editor for WebMD for over 15 years. And so he is very well versed in taking care of people's health, right? He's seen the changes for people over the last 40 years. He's also very well versed in the science and the studies that are coming out and seeing kind of the trends when it comes to science and technology coming together. And so he is very passionate about science and technology. And so they seemed like a good fit for each other when they were connected. And Mark Wilson basically said, I want to focus on health. How do I do that? Where do I start? And Dr. Kimberly said, you need to focus on supplementation because we are greatly lacking in quality products when it comes to nutrition in that sense. And what we're finding is that there's a lot of products out there. Go to your GNC or your grocery store, and you're going to see a ton of products in just kind of the health section. But unfortunately, the majority of those, they just are not, one, keeping up with the science themselves. So they're putting out products that are not in the correct form for your body to even absorb and use correctly. And then two, they don't even know how to formulate things, thinking of the future and changing things as new science comes out. They're not willing to change their formula because they have it set and how it is, and they kind of end up cutting corners on ingredients just to make a buck. And he was growing very frustrated with this and wanted to be able to offer people quality supplementation. And so when Mark Wilson said he had the same, idea behind creating products, Dr. Kimberly said, this would be a great project for me to work on. He'd actually had many companies come to him prior asking him to help them develop their product lines, and he's always said no. And so Mark Wilson felt very fortunate that they got to start off their products together, and he is still with us today and is the man and the brains behind everything that we put out. So they started in 2012 together, and worked for about 5 years, putting out an incredible product line focused on some of the biggest pillars of health, getting to root issues of some of the biggest issues that people deal with. And what they found after about 5 years is they had a really amazing customer base. They had so many people utilizing the products. They had like an 88% retention rate of people using products for 4 or more months, people just loving them, but they did not have a ton of people jumping into the business. And this frustrated Mark Wilson because, remember, his goal was to impact people's health and finances. And so he was then connected to a man named Jake Spencer. Jake actually comes from the field of network marketing. He's built multi-million-dollar teams. He's been here for over 20 years in this industry, so he really knows his stuff. And he actually had a personal experience with the Q Sciences products in his family. So his daughter had really struggled with some mental health issues, and they had started her on the Q Max. And they had seen huge changes for her. They had done all the things, therapy and activity and exercise, and just getting her in a good headspace and trying their best to support her. And they weren't seeing much movement forward. But once they added in the Q Max, they said it was like night and day difference. And he was floored by this. His daughter, he loved her so much and wanted to see that change for her. So when he came to this company and saw that the business wasn't growing very fast, he was surprised. And so Mark Wilson said, you're right, our products are amazing, but can you help us fix the business? And he said, I think I can. And so he did. He came in and basically said, you need to revamp the whole company, from your marketing to the labeling, what it looks like, the messaging you're putting out there, and change your comp plan because it doesn't work. And so they decided in 2017 to do all of those things, literally started everything over except for the products themselves. And since that time frame, once we've added in Jake Spencer and the comp plan that we have today, we've seen a growth of over 700% as a company. We've been able to expand into over 20 countries and are continuing to focus globally this year. We are focusing in Asia as well as South and Central America. We just added Mexico to our list of countries back in January, and continuing to focus in that area. It has been so exciting to just watch as people in other countries are able to get their hands on our products, and the stories and the testimonials that are coming out from just the families and the lives that they're touching. So let's talk a little bit about what those products are and why people love them so much. We actually have 2 separate product lines. I won't go into every single one tonight, don't worry. But if you have specific questions, I'm happy to chat with you or ask whoever invited you, and we can answer those questions for you and figure out what's a good fit for your personal journey. But I do want to highlight that one product line is just nutraceuticals, okay? That is strictly supplementation, filling in your gaps in your diet, and kind of getting to those root issues of some big health concerns you may have. The other product line is our hemp line, and this is full spectrum hemp. And we'll talk about what makes us very different from everything else you're finding at your gas station and grocery stores, because I'm sure you've seen CBD has become quite the hot item this year. So let's talk about my favorite products from our supplement line. I always have to talk about the Q Core because this is where I think every single person needs to start. Every person needs to be on it because it is actually, a good overall health package. It comes with our 3 core products included in there, and it has the Q Max, which I mentioned earlier was what Jake Spencer's daughter utilized. The Q Max is our foundational product. Okay, this is a fully methylated and fully chelated micronutrient. That's like essentially really big words to tell you that it's like a multivitamin, but it's not your grandma's multivitamin. Okay. I mentioned earlier that a lot of companies have multivitamins, but they're not in the correct form for your body to utilize them. So, what we've done is actually methylated them. That means we've taken all the B vitamins and put them in the correct form for your body to absorb. There's actually a genetic mutation called MTHFR that about 60% of Americans struggle with. And that means you cannot use B vitamins unless they are in this form. So think of all the people that maybe don't even know that they have that mutation and are struggling to use the products that they may be having on their shelf at home. And so then they're also chelated. This is an extra step that's very crucial and very important. It basically means we have taken an amino acid and bonded it to every single little mineral that's inside of our QMax. When you do this, it makes the product able to cross over your blood brain barrier for absorption in your brain. This is extremely important for people that struggle with mental health, right? And what a year that we saw people really struggling in this area. We actually have over 33 clinical studies that have been done on the QMAX alone, showing its positive impacts on anxiety, depression, stress, PTSD, bipolar, explosive rage, ADD, ADHD, and the list goes on and on. It's really incredible what your body can do when it's being fueled properly. I definitely want to pause. I'm not saying we're curing anybody or to not take meds or anything like that. But how wonderful to have a natural way to also help deal with some of those issues that people are really struggling with right now. We also have the Q Align in the core, and the Align is a very powerful anti-inflammatory. So this is extremely important for literally everybody. We all deal with inflammation in different ways. Some people it's more prevalent than others. You'll see on the one end that's people that have like autoimmune issues, right? That's struggling to deal with the inflammation that's chronically built up into their body. On the farther side, that would be more like bloating and puffiness and joint pain, maybe headaches, even struggling to lose the last 5 to 10 pounds if you feel like you work out and eat pretty well. The Align is very helpful with that. The Qbiotics is our probiotic. It also comes with prebiotics in it. And this was extremely exciting to me to see because my dad's a GI doctor. Gut health is very important to me. I think it's paramount to everything else. I don't think you can skip out on it. And so I love that they had a probiotic also filled with a prebiotic, and the fact that they had gone the extra step of creating a patented release system. And the reason that's important for you to know is because if you read about probiotics, you'll see they boast like billions of CFUs in them because they know that the majority of them actually die off once they reach your stomach. Your stomach acid is just way too harsh. And so, not much of it actually moves forward into your GI tract where you're needing the bacteria to land to kind of help keep an equal balance there. And so, Dr. Kimberly and them worked on this science and kind of put out this technology where there's a patented release system of our probiotic so that it actually gets to your stomach acid just fine and can then go on to deposit that bacteria throughout your entire GI tract, which is actually as long as you are tall. So it has quite a ways to travel. You need as much of it to get there as possible so you can keep your gut health in check. They call your gut your second brain. It's really important to your overall health. That's where your serotonin is even made. That's your happy chemical. And so, even something as simple as your moods can be impacted by your gut health. So, I love that these come together in a package. You can buy them separately in bottles like that, but in that core bag you see on the screen, they have them separated out for you into morning and evening packets already. So, you don't even have to think about it. Super easy to use and easy to stay on top of, especially if you're traveling. I put them in my purse or on my nightstand or by the coffee machine so I can make sure to find them first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed at night just to keep on top of my overall health. I also like to point out our small weight loss line because I know that's an aspect of health that a lot of people are focused on, especially around the new year. So if that is where you're at, we have amazing meal replacement shakes that have 20 grams of protein in them. We also have incredible energy drinks, which are great for giving you a boost for your workout. We also have a product called Trim to help burn fat and to build muscle. And then we just released a brand new QFit app, and that is really cool to see what they're doing over there. They're utilizing that so that you actually can have a very tailored program just for you. You can pick your meal plan based on just yourself, or if you want to do it for your whole family. You can pick your workouts if you want to utilize weights or not use weights, if you want to do it at a gym, if you want to do it at home, if you would prefer to do dance or yoga. You also get to have direct access to our personal trainer, Kimball, who will literally respond to you directly. You can chat with him about your goals. They do fun challenges in there. There's cash prizes. They even have a wonderful community of people to encourage you and cheer you on as you're working towards those goals. So I love that they've added that extra layer in, just to have that community and that connection while you are, working towards something really big on the health side when it comes to fitness and weight loss. I also always have to point out our oral sprays because these are very unique, super easy to use, very convenient, and very cost effective. So that Q Max I mentioned earlier is a really good overall multivitamin, right? It's going to give you all of the nutrients that you are most likely missing from your diet. But what these are going to do is give you specific vitamin intake. So think about when all this virus stuff has gone down, they've talked about being very focused on utilizing vitamin C and zinc and D3. Well, we have 2 sprays that will take care of that just for you. And what you do is you spray it right under your tongue. It's going to be the second fastest way for you to absorb the vitamin into your system outside of getting a shot or an IV. And they taste kind of like a fresh breath spray. They're kind of minty, but that's the perfect way for you to kind of boost your immune system as you go about your day. I know we give it to our kiddos before they go to school. There's been so many different COVID outbreaks and things happening around us. So it gives me a little bit peace of mind that I'm doing my best that I can to keep them as healthy as possible. We also have a version of B12. It's fully methylated. I'm sure you've heard of B12 shots. B12 is your energy. So if you're not getting good B12 absorption in your body, many are deficient in this, and this would be a very easy way to add that in. Boost is good for metabolism, helping to curb cravings. Relief is good for aches and pains. And then everybody's favorite is the sleep spray, because if you struggle with sleep, you know how miserable your days can be because you're just dragging, you're so tired. And so it really helps you to get to sleep, stay asleep, but then wake up feeling rested and ready to go the next day. So you can buy these as a whole pack together or individually, whichever you like. But I love them because they're just so convenient and exactly what we need right now, especially with kind of the craziness in the world that we've got going on. Those are obviously just a few of the highlights I wanted to make off of the nutraceutical side. We do have so many other products. We've got a kids line, we've got hormone regulators, specific for men or specific for women. We've got a mushroom supplement. I mean, all the things. So definitely talk to whoever invited you, and we can help figure out what's best for you to get started with. But this leads me then to our full spectrum hemp line. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on hemp if you don't know too much about it. I know I wasn't super well versed in it either at first, but what I did know is I was seeing it everywhere, right? You see it all over the place, boutiques, gas stations, grocery stores, and there's a reason, and that's because before 2017, it was not accessible to us. We could not utilize hemp in America. And so once the Farm Bill passed and made it accessible for all of us, it meant that tons of companies ran to market to put out a product because they knew that people wanted to utilize it. Hemp has been shown to help people with so many different things, from seizures to managing blood sugar levels, to inflammation, to pain, to focus, to just an overall sense of calm and clear of the brain fog, helping children on the spectrum be able to focus in their behavioral issues, dogs and cats with arthritis and anxiety. I mean, really and truly, hemp does so many amazing things. And so they knew that and wanted to put a product out there because they knew everybody wanted to try it. But what happens when people do that is there's a lack of science, right? There's a lack of research. There's a lack of planning and ingredients being checked and whatnot. And so definitely staying true to who we are. We took a little bit of time to put out our product, the Fuse, in the end of 2017. And what we were able to produce was something that's very different than what you find out currently. There's actually have been studies that have shown that a large group of hemp products that have been tested that are out there that say they have hemp or CBD in them actually have shown to have none in them. And it kind of makes you wonder, what are you putting in your body if there's not actually any hemp or CBD here? And so we put out a product that is water soluble. What that means to you is that it's in its highest absorption form. Maybe you're sensing a theme here, right? Absorption is important for your body to use the nutrients. Oil-based products, which is what's primarily on the market now, actually gives you only about a 6 to 10% absorption rate. It's very, very low. This means you can see some results within an hour and a half to 2 hours, and kind of starts to wear off after 4 or 5 hours. When you have our water soluble version with our micelle technology, you actually see an absorption rate of about 85%. And so this means people see results within 15 to 20 minutes and last over 12 hours, which is incredible. So I have worked with people all over the place on this topic, people that are very well versed in hemp and people that maybe are stay-at-home moms like me that didn't really know much about it. And I have worked with both demographics, and the people who know their stuff are blown away by our product every single time they try it. They call me like 30 minutes later and they're like, what is this? Like, I feel so good. And that absorption is very important for that. And then you hear from the stay-at-home mom that says, man, I felt so much better today that I didn't feel like snapping at my kids or my husband. And I just didn't feel crazy and like everything was going haywire. I felt calm and collected. And it's exactly what she's been looking for too. So, to kind of clear up any elephant in the room here, hemp is not marijuana. You're not doing drugs. You're not going to have any psychoactive effects or anything like that. So I always like to put that out there in case there's a little educational piece we need to add in. Sometimes people are confused on that side. So just know that full spectrum hemp is not the same thing as marijuana. I love that we are able to be very creative with our products because of the technology we have. We're able to do things that nobody else can do. And it really gives us a leg up in the game when it comes to hemp. And so they've actually taken this technology and they've expounded on it. They've been working on this the last 2 years. And the next, I think it's a week and a half, next Friday, they're going to drop an entirely new hemp line that is not only going to revolutionize what we have, but the industry as a whole. I am so pumped for it. It is going to just blow people's minds away. It is absolutely incredible. So think about what we already have, just taking it up like 10 notches. And I can't wait to be able to give people their first taste of that here in another week or so. So this product line is going to keep growing. And the reason for that is hemp is already a $2 billion industry, and it's set to grow to $22 billion in the next 48 months. So that's a growth of over 11 times in the billions in the next 4 years. It is absolutely taking off like crazy. Even in Europe, we're seeing a growth of over 400% in the next 2 years. So this is a market trend where we are way ahead of the curve and have stuff that people can only dream to have with quality that is absolutely unrivaled and a price point that is extremely fair in this market. And so it gives us the option to give people what they want and need without having to create our own product. We don't do all third-party lab testing. And there's actually a QR code on the back of our products where you can just scan it with your phone and it pulls up all of the information on the product that you have in your hand right there. So you can know exactly what's in it, which I think is amazing. So if you've ever wanted to try hemp, or maybe you've tried it before and you weren't quite sure what the excitement was about it, my guess is that you were probably using an oil-based one. And I would absolutely say give this a try because you will be so amazed at what it can do and help with in so many different areas. So for me, when I was kind of looking at this stuff, I love that their focus was on overall health, right? That it wasn't just a weight loss company. It wasn't just one niche or one focus. I do love that they are very big on mental health. I think that is so needed right now and so, so important. And just being an advocate where people can feel seen and heard and supported with their struggles. I love that they were ahead of the game in the hemp space because I know it's just going to keep growing big. So for me, I knew I wanted to be a part of this as quickly as I could. Because at the end of the day, timing is everything in these types of companies. And the fact that we have grown over 700% in the last 3 years and are sitting at a point where we're actually going to quadruple in size as a company this year alone made me super excited. And so I loved when I looked into how to join that it was very black and white. They actually only have 2 options when it comes to partnering with the company. You can be a customer or you can be an ambassador. So customers have an option to be a preferred customer for $10 for the year. That's like a Costco membership fee essentially. And then you get my pricing and you can just order your products whenever you want, however often you want. and utilize those and get your hands on that on the goodies. Or you can be an ambassador, which is what I wanted to do because I wanted to take this and run with it because I knew there were so many people that I could help impact their health. And then, of course, seeing the growth of the business side, what I could do to impact people's finances. So to join as an ambassador, it's $39.95. Then you purchase your own products. So it's roughly $200 investment to get started. And then you can start making money. We do that through 4 different avenues. One is through our customer sales commission, and this is pretty straightforward. It's, when people order products from you, you've probably already thought of 1, 2, or maybe even 3 people that you know in your life that could benefit from these products. And so those customer sales, you'll make a percentage back anywhere from 10 to 35% on a monthly basis. You also can build money through building a team. And this is my favorite way to help people make income because this is where residual income comes into play. This is money that is continuing to come to you as you build up your team. And so once you hit different ranks, you actually have a guaranteed paycheck. And this was so cool to me because my previous project did not have this. We were based off of a point system that fluctuated. And so you didn't actually know your paycheck number until right before you were getting paid, and it could vary greatly month to month. And so I loved that here there's no funny business, there's no confusion. You know exactly what you're getting paid and can find it directly on the comp plan and know exactly what to expect. I think in a world when everything feels uncertain, it's nice to know this is exactly what's coming to me when I'm at this rank. You also earn bonuses for every single rank that you achieve. And then lastly, when I saw this, the financial freedom movement, this is what made me call my husband when I got off the call and say, this is where I need to be. Because this is a separate bonus and it goes not to you directly, but to the debt of your choice. So you actually get anywhere from $100 to $400 a month that gets paid to your house payment, your car payment. It can go towards medical bills, student loans. It can go towards credit cards. It can go, a girl on my team, it goes towards her Invisalign payments. It really and truly is whatever debt you're paying on, they can pay towards that to help you get into a better place faster. Or if you choose, you could put it towards a retirement savings account or a college fund for your kids. But the whole purpose behind this program is thinking long term. What they notice is a lot of people tend to look just kind of like 2 feet in front of them, right? They just got to deal with what they've got going on in their life today. You've got to take care of their grocery bills and their health insurance and all the things. And sometimes we're not thinking about what's going to happen in 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. What does retirement look like? Are we set up? And do we have stuff for the kiddos worked out? Like what does that look like down the line? Or what if we lost our job? We weren't planning to lose, right? Would we be okay? What would we do if we didn't, have that income coming in? And how do we handle that moving forward? And so their whole plan is to work with people to support them, to help them get into a place where they are in a financially better situation so they can make decisions that are smart for them and their families' futures. And so I loved that. I love that they didn't just give money to the cause. They also set you up with financial coaches, people to help with taxes, people to help with credit repair services, investment strategies, all the things. So really helping you to unpack, what you bring to the table when it comes to finances and help you make some smart decisions moving forward. And so for me, this was very powerful. I know how important money is to everything, right? It impacts your marriage. It impacts your relationships. It can impact your kids' futures. It impacts your health. If you're stressed over your money situation, that anxiety and depression that can happen is very, very real. If you don't have 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses put aside and you're all of a sudden without a job, that is a very real and very stressful situation. And typically one where people end up going to take out a loan or ask family for money or put it on a credit card, which are never, great solutions to the overall problem. And so I saw all of this and thought, man, like that's my mission. That's what I want to do for people is I want to give them the hope that they desperately need to get into a better situation. And so I loved that they don't do car programs. They don't care what your car is. They don't care what your house looks like or your name brand clothes or anything like that. They care about you and your family and your future. And that spoke volumes to me of who they are and what the character is behind this company. I want to give you a quick snapshot of our comp plan here. If you don't know comp plans, it can look overwhelming. I'm happy to sit down and walk through this with you, but it's fairly straightforward. The top box, number 1, that's those customer commissions we were talking about earlier. But box number 2 is where I want to draw your attention and focus you here on this blue column right smack dab in the middle where it says monthly team commission. This is the guaranteed paycheck that I was talking to you about. Okay. So, based on the rank, you'll find the rank name on this side. You just follow it over and see the amount of money that you would make monthly, guaranteed, if you're at that rank. So, like I said at the beginning, I'm a platinum ambassador. You follow it across, you notice that my income every single month is $15,000 based on the platinum rank. And so, that has been a huge blessing to my family. And while I don't doubt everybody on here would say, sign me up for 15 grand, everyone would take that. I know the more realistic number is, Katie, I just need to cover my car payment. I just need some extra breathing room when it comes to groceries. Or, you know what, I don't have an emergency fund and I want to get that set up as quickly as possible. Can you help with that? And I love that we absolutely can, because we can take these numbers and we can work backwards with you. We can say, if you're just needing 750 right now, if that's where you would give you some breathing room, and you would not be stressed going to the grocery store, we can get you there. We can show you how to do that. And we actually give you a system and a game plan that's specific for you. We sit down with you. We get to know you. We get to know your hopes and dreams. And then we show you exactly how to do what we do. The growth we're experiencing right now is insane. It's almost hard to keep up with. It's really, really fun and really exciting to watch people just see the change for their family's future when it comes to this opportunity. And I always liken it to the opportunity to go back in time and buy Apple stock in the 80s, because we all would if we could. We all know what Apple becomes, and we'd love to get our hands on that if we could have known. And this is that same thing, y'all. This timing will not last forever. We have probably 2 to 3 years left of amazing, insane growth, specifically the next 11 months, that is just going to blow people out of the water for what it can do for their families. And I don't want you to miss out on that. I know it's nerve wracking to think about. Can I do this? Will somebody help me? Is it worth it? The answer is yes to all those things. We're here to walk you through that. Having that extra stream of income, I think, is wise at this time in life for sure. Can you do this? 100%. You've got us all cheering you on along the way. So would love to chat with you. If you have specific questions, definitely reach out to who invited you. I'm happy to sit down and just go through the nitty gritty. Like, what does this look like? How do we do the thing? How much time does this kind of thing take? And can you do it if you're a busy person? Those are really good questions. So would love to answer those with you. Again, thank y'all so much for being here and spending some time with us, and cannot wait to connect in the future. So I hope y'all have a great night, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.